YouTube, it's Jaden and Zane coming at you, and I know for the first time, if you're checking out this show, you're thinking, okay, his name is Zane, this guy's name is Jaden, these guys must be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they're named after the two main Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonists from the worst season of Yu-Gi-Oh! That ever existed.
This could be destiny, honestly.
You are correct. We will be having a little discussion about Yu-Gi-Oh! On this one, and we're going to get into a deeper discussion of each and every specific clan this time. I thought it would be fun for us to kind of explain a little bit about the clan, maybe share some knowledge, if you will. So without further ado, here we go. We're going to start out with Zane. I'm first going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you heard about the new changes in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the OCG that'll take place in the middle of March?
I have not.
Okay, then this is
news for everybody.
Okay, guys, here are the two new rules.
Okay.
If you go first, like if you start the game, you don't get to draw to start your turn.
Oh.
And for the second one, both players may now have field spells active at the same time.
Well, that's going to mess up a lot of people.
Now, there are people who are very angry about this because, as you guys know, in Yu-Gi-Oh! There is a great advantage to go first.
Absolutely.
I mean, Zane, me personally, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! For over 10 years. Have you been playing it for quite a while?
Yeah, I've been playing it since I was young.
Okay, so, you know that most players, because when you're rolling a die in Yu-Gi-Oh! To see who starts, you really to see who's going first, because there's not many players that's going, you know what, go first.
And as he mentioned in the last podcast,
or video,
whatever you want to call it, about a 44% or so chance more of you winning if you're going first. Let's be honest.
This is true. It's unreal to me sometimes how slapstick the game has gotten, and now they're bringing in these new pendulum summonings. If you really want to hear about pendulum summonings, I'm not going to waste my time, your time, and everyone else's time that might be listening to us recording this, because I don't want to bore you to death, and I don't want to put you to sleep. If you want to do that, I don't know, go watch the Oprah Winfrey Network. But anyway, so guys, now what we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can't find a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player really quick.
Is Hunter still here?
Who's not, are you a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player? Are you a Yu-Gi-Oh! player? Alright, can you come here for a second?
We'd like to ask you some questions.
Alright.
We're going to get down to business.
Alright, okay guys. This right here is someone I've never met
just
this guy, never seen him, never ever even saw the guy. I want to ask you, what do you think about the new changes that are happening in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now at this current time? Do you think this is going to be maybe something that Konami is going to regret in the long run? Because now what you're technically doing is, if you go first, you get the advantage of being able to start your turn, set your field up without fear of your opponent's response, but you're -1 and your opponent gets to draw a card. So, do you see this as being something that might destroy Yu-Gi-Oh! In the long run? Okay, now just for real quickly, what's your name and how long have you been playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
My name's Glenn. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! for about since I'm the 5th grade or so.
Wow. Yeah, so about the same age. Well, thank you very much. My name is Jaden, by the way, and this is my good friend Zane. Thank you very much for being on our show. So anyway, guys, now what we're going to do, we want to thank Glenn for taking a moment of his time to talk with us. We appreciated that.
Just really grabbed them out of nowhere.
But literally out of thin air, guys. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go deeper into the clans. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pass this back and forth between me and Zane, and we're just going to kind of describe them.
Yep.
And I'm going to let Zane have first pick. In fact, why don't you talk a little bit about your first clan that you want to talk about, and I'll pull up a list here.
All right, now, is this going to be more of a describe what the clan is and what it does, or are you saying
we're going to just spread a little knowledge about the clan overall?
Okay, so the first clan I would like to say is, at least, I might go cliche, and I'll say the first one that I played, and that would be Bermuda Triangle. Now, what I'll say about Bermuda Triangle is, back in the time that it came out, there was only 4 cards for it existing in Set 2. And what the clan is composed of completely is just mermaid Japanese idol pop singers. That it's completely that. There's no male masculine presence whatsoever. If you want to go to a harem, you just go to the Bermuda Triangle Seas, grab you a few, put them on a boat, put a little kiddie pool in there, and you're set. But they're all cute, adorable, sometimes relating to food. We can't help that, I'm sorry. And they hang out. Now, what they do, as in the card game, they typically call units and during your turn or before your turn even really starts, you can call them back to your hand, so they're there for a moment. Like the name of the Bermuda Triangle is like that spot, and any ships that go into it, you don't see them again. Bermuda is kind of like that for if something comes onto the field, they disappear in a moment. They're gone. Almost. So close.
You know you want it.
I do want it. How you doing,
And
baby?
y'all wonder why I drink. But
You love me, Daddy.
And also, one thing that is interesting is Bermuda Triangle is kind of like the OTT of
the seas.
of the Megalancia, because and I thought since you brought up Megalancia, we would just go ahead and continue talking in that.
Sure.
I'm going to talk about the only clan in Megalancia that I have any personal knowledge with, and that is Aquaforce.
Aquaforce. Yeah.
Now, the third one is definitely going to be for you.
Okay.
But, okay, so here we go. Aquaforce. This clan was introduced around in Season 2 by Leon Soryu. All we know about Aquaforce is that it's this ancient clan that it's pretty much, if you read the lore, it's pretty much the American version of the lost city of Atlantis. These dragons, these creatures, and these people are dying off. They're years and years and light years ahead of us in technology and knowledge and just smarts. And all the Aquaforce clan, what they are designed to do, they're like the old hand control decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! They force your opponent to guard on multiple times. And true, it's 11, 10, 11, 10, 12, 13.
Numbers that you just see all the time, and it's just so hard.
4 or 5 of those will deplete your hand.
You have to at least guard with 1 card each time.
Or you're going to take a lot of damage.
Yes,
and then their Vanguard attack is normally going to be somewhere in the 20s. So, Aquaforce, they specialize in getting multiple attacks off to just punish their opponent. And if you are playing against Aquaforce, if you commit to the board too early, you're in a serious bind, because it seems like the Aquaforce deck, even though Aquaforce has only had 1 draw trigger since its inception,
I know.
they keep hand advantage very well.
They do it quite nicely.
So, okay, enough about Aquaforce. I know you got a lot to say about this third one, so why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe your favorite clan, I dare say? Maybe?
I do say Bermuda is my favorite of blue, but my favorite competitive deck that I've at least played, I did play Aquaforce for a little bit. I got rid of the deck, unfortunately, but I do think that's because you did it justice, and I didn't really feel like I wanted it.
Well, then again, but also I think it made your pirates mad.
Probably a little bit. And so the last clan of the blue faction is the Grand Blue. And that's not Grand Blue, that's Grand Blue for some reason.
Granblue, not Grand.
They chose that, but it just sounds nice anyway. So what they are is basically they're pirates. But instead of just normal pirates where you could see them average, Renaissance Festival or something like that, we're talking more of undead pirates, whether that be zombie or vampire. And for some reason vampire, which doesn't make any sense to me, but doesn't matter. Also ghosts. And what they specialize is bringing back things from the grave. Whatever you have lost can typically be brought back by one way or another. There's only a few units that can, but when they do, it's freaking sweet. So it's a good deck competitively because they also have 3 different types of critical triggers. They have a few different types of superior ride. Only 2. They're not good, but they are possible. And basically, they can recycle very well. And it'd be recommended to run draw triggers in the deck too, because all it takes is just you have 1 guy in the field. Your draw trigger can become a grade 3 in no time flat.
Yeah.
That can swing for 13.
Well, see, also the thing that Grand Blue has going for it is rarely anybody knows how to play the deck properly. I mean, I've only seen 2 people play it correctly, and that's you and DeMarcus.
Yeah.
And Severo, yeah. God miss him. Grand Blue finally in set 13 they get support for the first time in a year and a half, like we mentioned in our last video.
Yeah, for the record, the last time Grand Blue had any support was set 6, so it's been a little while.
And that was about a long time ago.
Yeah,
All right, guys, we're now going to move into a new area, and we're going to move into the United Sanctuary. And
this is a long one, but this is a good one.
This has 6 clans in it, and I will cover my first clan that I ever started with, and that was the Royal Paladin clan. The Royal Paladin clan, I think it's fair to say maybe a good percent of maybe 60% of card fighters start out with this clan. Because let's face it,
for many reasons.
I mean, we grew up with toy soldiers and these war movies, and Blaster Blade just looks like something out of one of these flicks. His armor's badass. He's got this sword. He's got this cool face.
He's the identity of a hero that you can just only imagine.
Yeah, anybody would love to be Blaster Blade.
Absolutely.
For a day. And if you see someone you don't like, you just banish them. But Royal Paladins, like we mentioned last week when we talked about them for a brief little bit, we talked about how they excel in
friendship,
having friends on the board, or having a board presence. Because a lot of decks, there are some decks that gain advantage from having board presence. Well, it seems like all clans do it now. But Royal Paladin was the clan that started this.
Yes.
Because Alfred was the best Royal Paladin card at the time. In order to get the card to work, you had to have a full field.
Right.
Because swinging for 20k back then was big. So Royal Paladin, and then we got Soul Saber Dragon. We had a starter that got banned.
The only one in America that's banned is one card.
Yeah. Dragonic Overlord the Reverse is coming out, but Barkle's still banned.
I don't approve.
That tells you how long.
Dragonic Vague is a card,
Yes.
but Barkle's banned.
Yeah.
But
I don't see the balance in this at all.
okay, well now here I'll let you pick. You see these other Royals United Sanctuary clans, Zane. Which one would you like to?
The one I would have other than Angel Feather of my real backing of would be Gold Paladins.
Well, why don't you tell us briefly about Gold Paladin?
Okay. Well, Gold Paladins, not to spoil much in the show, are basically like the Royal Paladins in a sense. Again, I won't say anything that will spoil it, but for those who know, you know. So, a Gold Paladin is usually kind of Norse or Greek or Roman mythology kind of characters and stuff that rock out with the first real boss monster of the deck would be Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel, who is the main character really of Season 2. Which he looks like he just came out of a Viking flick and stuff, and looks like he's shouting Valhalla or something, you know? He's just magnificent. And the Gold Paladins are kind of like Royal Paladins into where they benefit from... Here's Glendon again. Where they benefit from...
his long-lost brother.
His long-lost twin.
Yeah, where they benefit from having friends.
Related.
We're not related, no.
Yeah, and I think we made that point.
Yeah, very clear. So they benefit from having friends on the rear guard, but not only that, they also benefit from calling off the top of their deck. They have a luck factor in the chance of you don't know what you're going to get, but a new friend has joined your ranks, and they're ready to fight for you.
Heel trigger, perfect guard. You kind of got to just take it as it comes.
It does.
Sometimes you get lucky and you have Vivian as your vanguard and attack makes it through, and you superior call a grade 3 off the top of the deck.
It's a magical moment then.
Alright, just briefly I'll kind of gaze over these others. Shadow Paladins, it's pretty much the same as Gold Paladin and Royal Paladin. Royal Paladin, Gold Paladin, and Shadow Paladin. Wow, that was a lot of words.
That was a lot of words.
They're linked together by having field presence.
Yes.
But they get it in different ways. Royal Paladins, they get it by superior calling it out of the deck. Gold Paladin gets it from complete luck or stacking of the deck through effects. And Shadow Paladin gains extreme power boost through sacrificing its allies. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say about Shadow Paladin. I mean, Shadow Paladin, in my opinion, is a very fun deck to play. It just takes a lot of mastery to play this deck.
It is a really complex.
I have my friend Darian around here somewhere. There's very few people who know how to play Shadow Paladins right. So if you do want to pick up Shadow Paladins, I do suggest that you watch and study this deck a little bit before you jump right into it.
Need a little bit of prep time,
So anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this off, and we're going to go to part 2 and continue our discussion on the list of clans. We'll be right back.